in short, it was the newspaper articles, the new awareness on Till that prompted the Justice Department to have open doors for me to come in and talk with them. But my first meeting took place in Mississippi with Attorney Jim Greenlee. And it was at that meeting where they were in support of seeing this case reopened, but they couldn't say it officially. So what ends up happening, I get introduced to Kenneth Thompson, who's now our first black DA of Brooklyn.
Brooklyn, yeah.
And he comes in to represent me in the case. Because here I am with this evidence, this young kid, didn't know what the hell, what to really do. But I had all this evidence, and I need someone to represent me, and this evidence when I'm dealing with the Justice Department. So he came in to be my legal arm. And it was, I would have to say it was Ken who became very helpful with galvanizing people behind my efforts, because it wasn't just I met with the Justice Department, they decided to do it. I had to get the muscle behind me to do it again. It was like Mamie said, Mrs. Mobley said, she said, you must first, get the people behind you, evidence won't stand by itself, and get the media behind you. Use those same tactics. So Ken was able to bring in a number of people to help me. Senator Schumer, of course, and Congressman Rangel. Yeah. Senator Schumer at the time was head of the Judiciary Committee, which was extremely important because the Judiciary Committee are the ones who do the budgets for the Justice Department. Right. So having him on my side was a plus. Congressman Rangel was a plus. City councils, I have to say, around the country began to pass resolutions in support of my efforts. The new Chicago City Council was first. Alderman Ed Smith contacted me, and he was like, I'm supporting you. I know you need the support. We're going to pass a resolution to support. New Orleans City Council did the same thing, from not my hometown, but from my area.
One of the contexts for all this activity is, of course, that you are building momentum towards the 50th anniversary. And for a lot of the people who are ultimately coming on board to support the film and the case, this was a coming of age experience for them. This was the Rodney King moment of my generation and the Trayvon Martin moment for millennials today, where all of a sudden their world is literally turned upside down.
Exactly.
And so they're remembering their childhoods and their young adult times and their early civil rights activism in relation to Emmett Till. And you're bringing all that up, and they're being inspired to do something.
I didn't always have that support, though.
Yeah.
And I have to be honest about that. Many of the civil rights leaders that I went to and activists did not want to touch this. And, and that's why when I spoke of Alvin Sykes, he came in, not a known person, but someone who had just as much passion as I did in trying to seek justice for Emmett Till.
So this is between 02 and 04, right?
02 and 04, yes.
So,
but
I just want to also think about that moment. So this is also, this is sort of a moment where, although we don't talk about it as post-racialism, the economy's doing very well, the tech bubble hadn't happened yet, meaning that there are a lot of African Americans in significant positions of either economic leadership or political leadership. And these are sort of, let bygones be bygones. Is that how you would characterize some of the attitudes?
Well, I was told by a number of people, you don't know what you're doing, you're dealing with a case before your time, you getting a 50-year-old murder case reopened is impossible. I heard all these different things. I was discouraged many times. But
did anybody say you ought to worry about what black kids are doing to black kids rather than what happened 50 years ago?
You hear that all the time. I mean, we've been saying that to each other, unfortunately, for generations. But this was different. It was different because Emmett Till was a child, an innocent child who was murdered in 1955. His murder became the catalyst to spark the civil rights movement. And it was a no-brainer to me. It was a no-brainer, meaning you should support this. I mean, it was at a time where our elders was talking about, what is this generation doing? What have they done to contribute to the movement that we started? Well, here I am trying to do something. and no one really wanted to support me. They thought I was crazy. This guy is dealing with a 50-year-old murder case, never going to get reopened.